Hi everyone, long time no see. It's Laurel here. I've been kind of on a hiatus for personal reasons, but I'm going to try and pull this video together. Please bear with me. It's been a while since I've crafted, let alone made a video. So today I'm going to make these two cards here. I'm using some new products from the Catherine Pooler shop. Tilly's Magic Garden is a new stamp set by a new illustrator for Catherine Pooler. And then I'm using the large doily die as well, which is from a previous release here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first card here. This is some Brutus Monroe masking paper that I had in my stash. Any masking paper will work. And I went ahead and ran that through my die cutting machine, that doily die. So now I have this mask of this doily die. And I am putting this on some white cardstock here, pressing it down, making sure everything is good to go. And then I'm going to go in with some distress inks in the colored Pick Raspberry and Wilted Violet. Little pink and purple action here, if you will. I spent a ridiculous amount of time applying this ink, so I've kind of edited this out. I'm real rusty, and you're going to see how rusty I am in this video. I spent far too long blending in these two colors, but regardless, here it is. I'm making sure I've got some good coverage put down, darker in some places, lighter in others. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. I probably blended for 5 minutes. I'm pretty sure my hand hurt when I was done. I'm going to flick on a little bit of water. That's just some water on a paintbrush. I'm just flicking it there. Then I'm going to let it sit for a few seconds, and I'm dabbing it up with a cloth. And then I will go ahead and begin to peel off that masking paper. Now, I peeled that off very carefully. Should have let everything dry fully and it would have peeled off a lot easier, but I didn't. I was not patient. So I went ahead and peeled that off. There is a little bit of residue left behind because I added a little bit of those water flicks, so I'm just pushing them off with my finger. It's not a problem. That masking glue stuff comes off with absolutely no problem whatsoever. So now you have that beautiful masked image there with all that color on the outside. I just think that's absolutely beautiful. You can stamp a sentiment right there and call it a day. It's just stunning how crisp that white is against the distress inked background. Now I'm going in with bukus and bukus of colors of Catherine Pooler inks. All of the individual ink colors will be linked in the supply list below in the YouTube description as well as on my blog. This took me a long time too, so I've done a lot of editing here, but I'm just going in and adding some flowers. This is a beautiful floral layering stamp set. I mentioned before Catherine Pooler has a new illustrator. It's Lydia Evans, and this is her debut with the Catherine Pooler store, and I just adore this floral stamp set. There's small images, so you can really create a lot of things. You can do the layering if you want to, or you don't have to. It's really whatever you want to do. So I get a little wild and crazy here. I had absolutely no plan of what I was doing. I'm just stamping flowers in different colors, leaves, branches, whatever's on this set. I'm just stamping it in that circle. No rhyme, no reason, had no plan of die cutting anything. I didn't know what I was doing. I'll be honest. I sat down a little nervous because it's been a while, and I just started stamping. I don't know. It's starting to get a little messy. I can see that. I'm thinking that in my mind right now as I'm stamping, but I'm going to keep going. I go in with a little, I think they're the dots that are probably for the center of the florals, but I'm going to go in with some blackjack and I'm going to put little dots all over it. Why not, right? I'm just sprinkling it around and I am really, really adding a lot of images to this little tiny space. So by the time I was done, I was like, oi. That's a lot going on right there. So I wasn't going to scratch it. I was going to figure out a way to make this work. So I'm going to use the Hello die, which is a new release from the Catherine Pooler store. And I went ahead and ran that through the die cutting machine. And now I've got this beautiful Hello, stamped Hello die cut I'm going to use for a separate card in just a minute. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And by die cutting that Hello out, it really broke up the design, the cluster of design I put in such a small space there. So then I took that same Hello die and ran it through with some white cardstock here. And then I'm going to go in with 3 different color Catherine Pooler inks, and I'm just swiping them right onto the die cut image here. And I don't know. I'm a blue person. Anything in the aqua family has my heart. I don't know. That's how I chose the blue. I went ahead and sprayed it with some water so all the colors would blend together very nicely. And then I did dry that with my heat tool. Now, the hardest part was adding foam dimension to the little hello. You'll see in a minute. So I added some foam dimension to the back side of the panel here, of the distress inked panel with the doily on it, the mass doily. And I'm going to go ahead and pop that up here. And now I need to kind of put that hello die, I need to press it in kind of like a puzzle piece. I need to put it into the negative space. This was the hardest part of the design, to be honest with you. This is the multi-matte medium glue. I use this glue for everything because it's super strong, but it's also invisible, which is fantastic. So if it oozes out and gets everywhere, which it will, it's invisible. And here I am pressing it into the negative space there and making sure it's going in its place. And this took a little bit of time because it's a very narrow area to work with, but I got it in and it looks fantastic once it's done. This is some Pico Embellishers, a little shimmer. So I'm going to go in and it's kind of like, think of glossy accents with some shimmer. And it's got a really fine tip there on the end, so I'm going to go in and add that into the hello there, and then that's really going to make that pop. So the hello is inset into the doily in a different color, and then it's got that cool shimmer that is gonna, it's just really neat if you can see that here. So I kind of set that in there and we are good to go, and that completes this first card here. But if you remember, I had that pretty hello die cut. And I said, hey, I'm going to make a second card here because it was really pretty. Look how pretty that hello is. And again, none of this was planned. I was not planning any of this. So I decided to keep it really simple. This is some new cardstock in the Catherine Pooler shop. And I've got a scoreboard here. I think this is the Martha Stewart scoring board. And I'm just adding some score lines. I think it's every ½ inch, to create some score lines there on the front of the card. And I mean, this is going to be like a super simple card because I thought that hello die was so pretty with all those little stamped floral images, using my bold folder to reinforce that crease. And this was hard, putting all that little foam dimension on the back of that hello die. Whew, that took some time. Did not show that on camera. You're welcome. I wanted to pop up that hello, so I've got some double-sided foam tape there, and then I'm going to press that down, and then I'm going to round the corners, and that's going to be this card. Kept it so simple, but I really felt like it was striking, and adding those score lines just adds a little bit of something to that cardstock there. So 2 cards. 2 hello cards. So hello, it's been a while. I hope to get back into the swing of things soon. Thanks so much for joining me for today's video, and I will see you next time. Head on over to my blog for more still shots, supply lists, and more information. Thanks so much.